Okay, so what you're going to need to make your own hamburger patties is hamburger meat, an egg, and some breadcrumbs. Get back here. So this is half a kilogram, or just over 1 pound of meat, and it'll make about 3 hamburger patties. So for every half kilogram of meat, I like to add half an egg. So if you want to make 6 hamburger patties for your family, you're just going to get 1 kilogram or 2.5 pounds of meat, and mix 1 full egg. Let's get started. Now you could measure this out. I'm just going to try to pour roughly half. Just remember you can always add more egg, but it's going to be pretty tough to take it away. So let's start with that. Now what I'm going to do is start mixing the egg into the meat. And when I feel that's pretty mixed, I'm going to take my breadcrumbs and add some in. Alright, so once you're pretty satisfied that your egg is mixed in with the meat well, you're going to take your breadcrumbs and just sprinkle some on. So let's start with that. And now we're going to start remixing. Now the reason you're adding egg and breadcrumbs is the breadcrumbs will help keep the meat together as you're cooking your hamburger patties, and the egg kind of helps bind the meat to the breadcrumbs. So you need all three. And if you added too many breadcrumbs, you can add more egg, and if you added too much egg, you can just add more breadcrumbs until you get the consistency that you want. Now I don't know if you can tell from the beginning of the video when I just had the meat, but if I pick this up now, it's a lot more solid than it was. So when I go to form my hamburger patties, they'll take whatever shape I want, and as you're flipping them on the barbecue or frying pan, however you cook them, they won't start to fall apart on you. So I call that pretty good. So what you're going to do next is take enough hamburger meat that you think will make you the right size patty that you feel like. I try to just grab a good fistful. What you're going to do is you're going to squish it between your hands into a nice tight ball like that. And then you're going to shimmy it between your hands, just squish it down until you get the right thickness for your patty. Now what's going to tend to happen is the edge is going to be not as thick as in the center. So you just start forming it along the edge so that the thickness throughout the patty from the edge to the center is about the same. That way it won't burn on the barbecue. And just keep forming it until you're happy. The more you can compress it, the better, because if you have little splits throughout the patty, as you're barbecuing it, it might start to fall apart. But you don't want it to be too thick because it's going to take longer to cook, and then you can burn the outside. So once you're comfortable in your hamburger patty, I think you've done a pretty good job. That's one done. And you're just going to keep taking hamburger and keep making patties till you run out of meat. Alright, so there you have it. 3 hamburger patties. They don't have to be perfect, but you should try and keep the thickness roughly the same for all of them, just so that one doesn't cook faster than the other on the barbecue. Alright, now for the fun part. For barbecuing, you're going to need a spatula, barbecue sauce, barbecue brush, and some cheese if you want it. So I normally try to wait until the heat's at about 300 or 350 degrees Fahrenheit, then throw on the patties. Alright, so once you're at about 300 degrees, you want to take your hamburger patties, throw them on. Naturally, a barbecue has hot spots, so if I know I'm going to be taking 15 minutes to cook these, what I'll do is every 5 minutes, I'll just rotate where each burger sits to make sure that they're getting cooked evenly. Like that. Now these normally take about 15 minutes to cook, so after 7 or 8 minutes, I'll give them a flip. So after you flip them, it's good to add a little bit of barbecue sauce, get a little extra flavor on there. Get your sauce brush and just spread it on. Make sure you get it around the edges. So when you're done saucing, just close down the lid, keep that heat in. So we let it cook for 7 or 8 minutes. We flipped it, we sauced the side we already cooked. We're gonna let it sit for another 7 or 8 minutes, flip it again, sauce it, put the cheese on, and then take it off. Alright, so after 10 minutes of cooking, we're gonna shift these all again into their new place, just to make sure one burger isn't getting cooked more than the other, depending on where it's sitting. Alright, so we're going to give it our final flip. Add some sauce to the other side. Now we cooked one side for 8 minutes, one side for 7 minutes. So these are just about done. Only reason I'm doing this is to get sauce on the second side of the burger. And then we're going to trap it with cheese. Assuming you want cheese on your burger. You don't have to. Now we're going to take our cheese, lay it on. This is where a tripod really would have come in handy. So now that the cheese is on, just going to close down the lid, shut off the propane and give it 30 seconds. And it should be done. And there you have it. My final masterpiece. Now when you cook, they do tend to puff up a little bit, so if you don't want them to look swollen like this, all you have to do is make the burger flatter and wider. And then when it puffs up, it'll still be more evenly distributed in its thickness. Alright, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know in the comments below. See ya!